Alright guys, we're going to go over how to do a couple word problems just to help you guys out. Sorry I wasn't there in class today, so let's read a few and try a couple and see how they go. Okay? Let's start with number 1. Carrie is in charge of decorating for the homecoming dance. She purchases 10 bags of balloons and 6 rolls of streamers for $20.10. She realizes that this is not enough, so she goes back. This time she spends $12.80 on 4 bags of balloons and 8 rolls of streamers. What was the price for each item? Okay, now we've got one thing going for us. We know that these are going to be linear problems. Okay, so we are creating 2 linear equations. We are creating systems, so we're going to make 2 equations. I'm going to write this at the top just so we understand. Linear and 2 equations. Now the key when you guys are solving these are to look for totals. You should have 2 totals in your word problem. So when you look at them, let's figure it out. I see a total of $20.10. So that's one of my totals. So I'm going to write 2010. And the other total is $12.80. Okay, so the other total is going to be $12.80. Okay, now if you notice, she makes 2 separate purchases. So we are going to make 2 equations, one equation for each purchase. So the first one, to get 2010, she purchased 10 bags of balloons and 6 rolls of streamers. So in this case, if you don't want to use X and Y, you don't have to. You just let me know what you're going to make each one. So let's say I'm going to use B for bags of balloons. So I'm going to write this out here, balloons. And I'm going to use S, be careful with S's so you don't make them look like 5s, for streamers. Alright, so she purchases 10 bags of balloons. That would be 10B. Plus, she bought 6 rolls of streamers, plus 6S. You'll get a total of $20.10. Alright, let's bring that in closer so you can see that equation a little better. Okay. Second purchase, we'll do that in red. To get $12.80, she had to buy 4 bags of balloons and 8 rolls of streamers. So 4 bags of balloons would be 4B, plus she bought 8 rolls of streamers would be 8S, and she got $12.80. Now that you have 2 equations, you can go ahead and solve this. I don't care how you solve it. You can solve it through substitution. You can do elimination. I personally think elimination is going to be a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to try to get opposites. 4 and 10, the closest I can get these are 20. 6 and 8, the closest I can get these are 24. So I'm going to get balloons by itself. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this first equation by 2. And I'm going to multiply this second equation by -5. So when I do that, I get 20 balloons plus 12 streamers equals, that would be $40.20. Second one, I do -20B. That becomes minus 40S. And then 5 times 1280, that's what I guess you guys have a calculator for, gives you -64. Even. Okay. We are using elimination. So if you notice, the B's will cancel. -40 and 12 give you -28. And then 64 and 40, 20. That gives you a total of 23.8. All right, and that, make sure I get everything else right. That was -28S, and this would be -23.8. So to get S by itself, you're going to divide both sides by -28, and you get, right by 8, you get 85.85. So that means that each roll of streamers cost you $0.85 or 85 cents. All right, let me move some things around so I can make a little bit more space. I'll do it this way. There we go. Scrunch that up, give me some room. Okay, so we know that the streamers cost 85 cents each. So now we got to figure out how much the balloons cost. You can use either equation, one of your originals. Okay, so just to work with it, to find that second part out, I'm going to use this second equation. So I'm going to use 4b plus 8s equals $12.80. And I'm going to plug the 85 cents in for s. So 4b plus 8 times 0.85 equals 12.80. And then it's just a solving problem. So 0.85 times 8, I get 4b plus 6.8 equals 12.80. Subtract that 6.8, I get 6. So 4b equals 6. Divide both sides by 4, and b becomes 1.5. So what does that mean? That means each bag of balloons cost you $1.50. You don't have to write these as an ordered pair because they're a real-life problem. You're just answering the question. What was the price for each item? So each streamer was 85 cents. Each bag of balloons was $1.50. And we got one done. Number 2 has a different type of problem, so we got to pay attention closely when we're looking at this one. So let's read it. A sporting goods store receives a shipment of 124 golf bags. Each shipment includes 2 types of bags, full-size and collapsible. Full-size bags cost $38.50 each. The collapsible bags cost $22.50 each, and the total bill for all 124 bags is $3,430. How many of each type is in each shipment? Okay, so when I am writing the totals, and this is what's hard, you guys have to be good at picking out your totals. I see one of the totals is $3,430. Now the other total, now when you look at it, I see that the total number of bags is 124. Okay, now it's important for me, I'm actually going to label them. So 3430, that was talking about money, and 124 was talking about the number of bags. So I'm going to have these labeled because it's going to make sense out of my equations. If my first equation, this 3,430, was talking about money, then that whole first equation should be about money. Okay? So as I go through, let's talk about the things that we're measuring. We're talking about collapsible bags, and we're talking about full-size bags. So why don't we say use F for full-size bags, and let's use C for collapsible. Okay? All right. So my variables are F and C, and let's talk about the money. So in my first equation, how much does a full-size bag cost? Well, the full-size bag costs $38.50, and the collapsible bag costs $22.50. So as an equation, it would be $38.50 for each full-size bag, plus $22.50 for each collapsible bag, gives you a total of $34.30. Now, if I go back into the equation and I cross out all the numbers that I used, used 124 bags. So you have that. Full-size bags cost $38.50. I use that number. Each collapsible bag is $22.50. I use that number. The total bill for 124, so we talked about 124 bags, we use that number, and they gave me the total amount, which is $3,430. I have no numbers left. But if you think about this, and this is where that second equation needs to make sense to you. If you take the number of full-size bags and you add the number of collapsible bags, you should get a total of 124, which means take the number of full-size bags plus the number of collapsible bags, and you get 124. This is the setup for these two equations. Okay? Now we go through and we just make sure we have opposites. So now it's just a solving problem. So I want to get rid of C's. I'm just picking C's at random. So I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to multiply by 1. It's not going to change anything. the second equation, I'm going to multiply by negative 2250. That way I can get opposites. So that first equation doesn't change. 3850F plus 2250C equals $3,430. That second equation will be negative 2250F minus 2250C equals, I got to figure this out, 124 times negative 2250 gives you negative $2,790. Okay, we can combine. So 3850F minus 2250F gives you a total of 16F. The C's cancel. And then 3,430 minus 2790 gives you a total of 640. So when you divide by 16, you get 40. F equals 40. And 40 is the number of full-size bags. Full-size bags. All right. Good. If I know, now the second part is I need to find the number of collapsible bags. Well, obviously, for me, it's easier to use this part. And you actually don't even need to show me work here. If you know that you have 40 full-size bags, and you know that there's 124 total bags, you can go straight to that answer. So do 124 minus 40, and I get 84 collapsible bags. Now, most importantly, make sure that the numbers make sense. You wouldn't get a decimal here because you're not supposed to sell 0.6 of a bag. You can either sell a bag or you don't sell a bag. Okay, when we look at example number 1, $1.50 for a bag of balloons. That should be realistic. Your answer should be very realistic when you do these problems. Okay, if you guys have any more questions, make sure you try these, and then we'll talk about them tomorrow when I'm back in school. All right? All right, good luck with the rest of them, and have a good day.